You can hear me now? All right, I'm going to go into my intro here, and then, well, here, we'll just give it a minute. I know that happened when I was talking on one of the streams. Everyone thought it was you. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, geez. Let me. I think I have torrent open. Let me go close it real quick. Go to the intro. Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming to another Saturday Night Spirits. Everybody hear me okay? Robert, can you hear me? Okay, good. So yeah, tonight we have Robert Noor, who is usually here with us, and I always appreciate it. And SJG should be joining us here soon. And then a little bit later, we're going to have a Marine veteran who is a congressional primary candidate in District 8 of New Jersey, David Winkler. He's going to join us for about 30 minutes, and we'll talk about him, what his plans are, his military history, and I might prod him about his feelings on Trump as well. He is a big Trump supporter, so that'll be interesting. I did want to just jump right into talking, because I'm been incensed about it the last few days. The fact that Andrew McCabe just got off. They all just get off. And I know that I'm not the only one who's a little hot and bothered about this, Robert. Hold on. I know why. God, every time, man. I'm sorry. I got you now. I think there you go. Yeah, we got you. Or wait, no, hold on. No, it's not you. Hold on. I know what it is. Here we go. Is this it? Yeah, there you go. Good. Sorry, guys. No, it'll go. It'll go for a second. Oh, your people don't have sound either?
I'll figure it out, or I'll just send everyone to your channel. No big deal. But anyways, we're still working out the kinks, everyone. This is something that I think soon we're going to have worked out. But yeah, just real quick, just to rehash it. It's just, I get frustrated because it's easy to the people that we're, the establishment, that all of us agree that we need to end this corruption. Even people on the right and the left, they agree. It's easy to challenge them and to point out where they're wrong. But what's frustrating is when so many people that want the corruption to end, for me, are cheering for Barr, who's done nothing. And they think that there's this big, grand, behind-the-scenes thing going on, when all I see is every single time people connected to Trump's team get charged as harsh as possible for the exact same things the intel agents and the Democrats get completely off the scot-free for. So.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps happening. Unfortunately, I'm starting to kind of lose faith. I mean, I kind of lost faith a long time ago. I mean, I can't tell you how many times Clinton was going to prison. I mean, going back to, the Bush years and Whitewater before that. I mean, we've gone through this many, many times. It's like they string us along and then, nothing happens. I mean, is this actually like a two-tier corrupt justice system? Or is it just that these people aren't really guilty of anything? I mean, I heard that as far as McCabe goes, that nobody is usually charged with what he did.
Yeah, I mean, so I've read the case, and it's actually a compelling case that he technically broke the law. The question is, do we have discretion of when to charge when the law's broken? Clearly, that's the case. Like, for example, just take it in the most simplest context. Like, we probably commit disorderly conduct all the time, but police officers can use their discretion and not charge us. That's fine. The problem is what those people making this claim do is that they allow for the Justice Department to constantly apply these standards as harshly as possible to the Trump people and as lightly as possible to everyone else. So, for example, every single reason they give is why technically McCabe isn't charged. Those crimes aren't technically charged, even though they're illegal. Every single reason applies to Flynn. Yet with Flynn, they bankrupted him, they've drug it out for years, etc. And the other thing is, McCabe's situation actually was the lightest criminal charge that we see. When you look at Comey's charges, where he lied and leaked classified information to the press, you look at Brennan's charge, where he lied to Congress about the dossier being in the intelligence community assessment, and then Clapper, who lied twice to Congress, once about the NSA and how they spy, and the second time about whether or not he discussed the dossier with members of the press. These are blatant crimes. And so what we end up hearing from the media and from the DOJ and everything is like, well, they're crimes, but we normally don't charge those types of things. And then every single time anyone connected to Trump is accused of anything, they fart in the wind and they're like, we're bringing the hammer down. Bam, 7 to 9 years.
Right.
So that's again, I think you're on the same page as me, but like from you, isn't it that you just want equal application? That's it. If we're going to be lenient, then be lenient on everyone.
What's up,
that's
everybody?
What bugs me.
What's up, SJG?
Oh, SJG, what's up, buddy? But yeah, I mean, that's what bugs me the most. It's like over and over again, and it's blatant. It's like in your face. Like the whole thing with Trump and his people and the people around Trump. To me, that's a tactic because they're trying. It's like a threat to anybody who would be around Trump. They're trying to threaten them. Like, oh well, if you're around Trump, we're coming after you. So it doesn't pay to be friends with Trump.
No, I know, but are you guys talking about the Joy Bear thing? How she said that, or was that?
Oh no,
I totally.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. What are you talking about? When she said that Trump was making her crazy?
No, she said basically that if you're Trump's friends or if you're Trump's, friend or family, you don't get prosecuted. And when it is the exact opposite.
Right.
It's the exact opposite. So I take it we're live, right?
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah, we're live. We're going.
Okay, great. Right.
Yeah, we'll be bringing on David Winkler here in about 20 minutes or so.
Is that the Fonz?
That's Henry. You're thinking of Henry Winkler.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Henry Winkler. Did you do that last time? I think you did, but
no, somebody else did. I think or maybe I did in our chat when we were talking about it. Maybe I did do that.
Yeah. But anyway, so I mean, does anybody think that Roger Stone really deserves 9 years? I mean, so here's the thing: he did do the witness tampering or whatever, and he did. He did some stuff that should get you some time, probably. I mean, I don't think he is completely innocent.
Prosecutors,
although I support him.
Say like up to a year, nothing to up to a year for what he did.
Right. Yeah. And let me know if I'm yelling at you guys. But yeah, it doesn't seem. It seems like vengeful, like all of this stuff has been, and like it's just like what went on with Obama. It's just the same stuff over and over again. Like he had kids in cages and overcrowded detention centers and all that. Scandal-free administration. He influenced multiple cases. He they're trying to make this big deal that Trump made a tweet about Roger Stone, so he's influencing the DOJ now, and they make this big deal. But Obama did that several times. In 2015, he did a CBS interview, and said of Hillary's private server that it was just a mistake. And he said, I don't think it posed a national security problem. So obviously, that's the president saying that he doesn't think it's a problem. So do you think anything's going to happen to her? No. He influenced that, and that was never a problem. So, yeah, we're just dealing with this situation where our side is held to this high standard just for political expediency, basically. It's not that these people actually care about corruption.
Hey, let me jump in here just for a second.
Yeah.
So can they hear us out? I saw something from Rational. I know I'm a little late to the party here, but can everyone hear us out there? Did you already do a sound check?
Yeah, everybody should be good.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So Rational is like Drone Tech, whoever we're not hearing whoever's responding to you now. So I don't know if, maybe that was me. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay.
They should hear you. You're coming through on my end.
5 by 5. Okay, cool. All right. Good enough. Carry on.
So.
Carry on my wayward
So, I mean,
go ahead.
Do you got any memes? We should do some memes here.
I will. I'll pull some up here. I haven't even got a chance to prepare some of those, but I do got them. I mean, I do have them. I have a bunch. I just haven't.
Well, there was actually other examples of that too. Obama didn't do it just once.
Whoa.
Hang
on. Sorry. Breaking news. I'm not kidding around right now. I just got a text that said, "Hey, Steven, Trump is being shadow banned on Twitter. Can you alert everyone?" I don't know if it's massively breaking news, but I just got that at 5:02 that Twitter is censoring Trump.
Oh, I know why. I know why they can't hear you when you're okay. I see. Sorry, guys. It's amateur hour with me here. I always warn of that. Anyway, you should be able to hear. Yeah, you should be able to hear now.
Oh, so
okay. American Joe, guys, is not here. We got SJG Perspective and Robert Noir. So
all of a sudden our count just starts going ding 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 ding.
Yeah,
ding.
sorry.
I'm trying to keep up. We're trying to keep up with the beard, right? Like it's something we're trying.
No, but did you hear me say that somebody said Trump is being shadow banned?
So what is that? I mean, how do they know that?
I know. I don't know.
Because
maybe
people always tell me. They always message me. They're like, "Oh, you're shadow banned." It's like, how do you know?
Okay.
Like,
right? I have no clue.
I don't know.
I have no clue. Like,
I've not heard anything about that.
Right. And when you hear about that, I don't know if that means that like one person was like, "Oh, I feel like I'm not getting Trump's tweets as much," or something like that, or if there's definitive proof. I have no clue. But of course, we know that they're not beyond that. I mean, they'll do whatever to censor people.
So, I didn't mean to. I don't know if I derailed what you were saying, Drone Tech. I apologize.
No, it's fine. It's just my usual. My problem with what's going on in this country right now is that the people who are, calling Trump an existential threat. And I was talking about this earlier with Mike on the Patriot Hour, which, by the way, if anybody here is from there, hello, welcome. I do appreciate him having me over there. But we were talking about the possibility that Trump might actually use some sort of presidential law edict that will allow him to get rid of people who are causing this, what seems to be a coup. Yeah. And just talking about what would happen if that actually transpired. I personally don't think that anything's going to come of these investigations, and they're just going to keep hammering Trump. If he wins the election, they'll just keep trying to impeach him for the next 4 years.
Right.
And that's what I think is going to happen. If Trump were to do something like that, I think that could cause the shooting to start. I think maybe.
Look, to me, it's like this. Trump's. This sounds cheesy, but I always think of the Batman movie, Batman Begins, where Alfred's telling Batman, like, look, Batman's a person. He's fallible. He fails. He gets hurt. Batman, the symbol, right? That's what inspires people. It's the same with Trump. It's not Trump the person. He can't do all of this stuff alone. He can't. Trump symbolizes the populist anger of us, the people that are tired, the normal Americans that are tired of being screwed over. So if there is a movement behind him that demands justice, even if Barr doesn't achieve it, that movement can continue. What worries me and this is why I've been so angry the past 2 days, is some of the people that I know personally, that I know from friends that follow my videos, from people on Twitter, etc., that have been some of Trump's biggest supporters and wanting to go after corruption, are actually cheering for the failures because they're convinced that every failure is indicative of some super secret plan and conspiracy that will lead
4D chess.
Right, that will be a success in the future. And so if that's the case, if Trump loses in 2020, I fully predict that there will be many, many Trump supporters that say, this is all part of the plan. See, now Don Jr. will run in 2024, and they'll be able to really get the corruption dealt with. I mean, that's literally what will happen. And in that world, no, the corruption will never be dealt with. If we all get furious, or however you operate in your own way, and start to convince the masses, the millions of people that don't know about the corruption, if we start to convince them, then that will force the hand of someone like Barr to start arresting the corrupt people. But until then, I have no faith in Barr whatsoever.
I know. So you got me in a lot of trouble. I don't know if I told you. I did tell you that, but you can tell the audience here. I got in all kinds of trouble. And I think somebody, whoever it was, thought that you were me, or that I was you, however you want to say, because you had center stage on the video we were streaming. And so but should I read you it? Did you read the comment?
No.
It might be kind of fun. It goes along with what you're saying. So let's read it out here. Let me pull it up and let me read it out to you guys. Do you guys want to hear what they said and my response?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll pull it up. You guys can talk while I do that.
Oh, here's another little news item I got for you that I'm sure you've probably all heard this by now, but Drudge is reporting that what's the mini man over there is actually thinking of Hillary Clinton as his running mate.
Yeah, can you believe that? I heard that today.
What the hell?
That's
I mean,
hilarious.
really? God.
Oh man,
I don't even care.
I have a meme for that too, by the way.
I would hope. Yeah. We need some memes.
Okay, so let me read this. I'll read this. We'll read this one, and then I'll read you my response because I kind of lit her up. It was the first one where I was like, "Oh no, hell no, bitch! I'm going to fire back on this one," and I kind of did. So, all right. So, this was a comment I got after last night, and we're probably going to get lit up again for me reading this and us talking the way we're talking here. But whatever. Here's the thing before I read this, and Robert has made this very clear in the last 24 hours of his live streams, since his head hasn't exploded and he's been talking about this, and he said it way more eloquently than I. But this does not mean we aren't conservatives, and this does not mean that we don't support our president. This means quite the opposite. This means that we're questioning what the plan is, because it seems like, man, this could be 4D chess, like they like to say, but it makes no sense. And it's more likely that this could be a ploy to take out our president and to handicap our president. And everyone's been sucking on it for so long and believing it, and we're getting real close to election time. So, this is where I think we are pushing back and saying, if we're wrong, oh, well, okay, we're proven wrong. No harm, no foul. But if we're right, and, then that's a big deal that we get the message out there. Why can't we question it? And then does that mean it's not going to happen if we question it? Then it'll ruin everything if we question it? No, that doesn't mean anything. If the plan is the plan and it's there, then it's going to happen either way. Exactly. And I think that's ultimately like what Robert said more eloquently. But this is what I got. So she goes, so negative and pessimistic. No offense, dude, because I'm sick of watching those pigs walk too. But I try to have a little faith that things are happening behind the scenes, and eventually these people will get theirs. Regardless, your crybaby temper tantrum is hard to tolerate. Okay, I gotta throw an accent on this one because I'm feeling like it would sound more like this.
A southern accent?
Y'all know it goes, yeah. You got to remember that there's going to take many battles to win this war, and then there's going to be a lot of lower level arrests that are getting closer and closer to the bigger fish, but they're never publicized. You got to remember that it's going to take many. Oh, sorry, I read that. Even if they were, we don't have an honest media to explain who these people are and how the dots are connected. Shoot dang. For example, there's a YouTube channel by the name of Kip Simpson, and all he does is announce when someone gets arrested that's connected to the cabal, for lack of a better description. Just today, he was talking about a guy in Chicago who was arrested and who was close to Obama, and another lady who was a powerful damn operative. My point is that then this was a book she wrote me, or they wrote me, whoever. My point is that this is not going to happen on your schedule. This isn't about you, dude, or what you want to happen or when. It's going to take a long damn time, spent damn wrong, long damn time to round up these creeps. And we may never see the Obamas or the Clintons go down, but if they can dismantle their networks little by little, that is what it will contribute to long-term success. But this shit took too damn long time to put together. It's going to take a damn long time to tear down. It's like a virus or cancer. It's going to take a long time with bad days and good days and remission and flare-ups. Crying does no effing good, though. It only makes a shitty situation more difficult. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's counterproductive, and frankly, you sound like a whiny little bitch.
Oh, that was a great ending.
That was, I think that was directed towards me, is what they were.
But here's what I think. Can I read my response? You guys can comment on it.
Yeah, go for it.
I go, no one is against Trump in this. We are for him. I, for one, haven't been following this that deeply, but Robert, who is incredibly smart and on top of this subject, has been. We were discussing issues and ideas surrounding this, not pissing and moaning and being a bitch. We don't have our heads in the sand, and we aren't saying something will not happen. We are honestly having dialogue on why nothing has so far. The facts point to something else being up, and that Barr could be fake and lying to Trump. We support Trump and are worried this whole thing we have been being told is going to happen could be a trap for Trump. If we're wrong, it hurts nothing. If we're right, it could help wake up and save everything. Robert would be the one you should be pissed at, but I think he raises incredibly logical and rational arguments. If you don't like what we're saying, don't listen. But you have zero right to come at me the way you did. We had a very respectful discussion, looking at it from different perspectives. I do not appreciate the way you come at me with guns blasting, and you actually sound like a menstruating bitch. No offense. A little too emotional and not enough rationality. Sorry we blasphemed against your religion you seem to be worshiping. Again, if we're wrong, no harm. If we are right, we could be helping to wake people up so that they can raise their voice and potentially save a very bad play against our republic and president. I thought that was a good response.
Yeah. You know, and it's something I think that all three of us agree on is we're not lockstep right or left. I don't think any of the three of us, but I mean, we do see what's going on, and we're going to take a stand on that, but we're not always going to be a lockstep, kind of a stream, or I don't do lockstep videos, even though I'm usually defending Trump. That just is the case because the media right now is just being so brazen about their bias. But if you guys are here to watch us, you're probably going to hear some different views. In fact, I would like to get some left wingers on here, or some liberals, something like that. I'd love to get them on, and so we could just have some counterpoints and stuff to debate respectfully. And so if you guys know anybody like that, send them my way, dronetech@gmail.com, and we'll get that set up. I want somebody to debate. We're going to get like a Thunderdome going where Robert is like taking everybody on like a death match.
Have to have our lead-in music be thunder.
Then we'll get copyright stroke probably.
And then we'll have one coming out like that. I was born in the middle of a railroad.
Well, and let me just say to that person.
One second. Hey, Rat White or Drone Tech, can you send Rat at ratwrong@gmail.com? Can you add him to this conversation? Ratwrong@gmail.com.
Yeah, well, he should already be a part of this.
It was under his other email. It was under the other email. I don't know if you can add it or not. But anyways, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if I can say that lady. I thought your response was great. Like, I would say to her, or gentleman, I didn't catch if it was a lady or gentleman, but I don't disrespect anyone for their beliefs. People have heard me say a million times, look, the mainstream narrative is Epstein killed himself. That's one of the most ridiculous conspiracy theories I've ever heard. So I'm not going to pick on anyone for any theory that they believe. And like you said, if you don't like what we're saying, I'm sorry. Maybe it's not the right episode for you. Maybe you'll like something else we say. But I would say this, it's not me whining. it's me passionately defending a country that I think is the greatest country in the history of the world that I'm afraid all of our forefathers fought so hard for that we're going to lose in our generation. That's what it is. And it's not me saying I demand things being done on my time frame. It's me looking at things and saying I can see the facts in front of my face that the corrupt still walk free, that every time we say we got him this time, they escape. And yet all the patriots that were connected to Trump get punished over and over again. So I would say to that person, it's not that I'm whining or that I personally want things. It's because I'm worried that these people never will be locked up. And remember, like, I understand that these people have, someone like her has the utmost faith that everything will work out. Logic be damned. She doesn't care. She just has this faith. I'm sorry, I don't have that. The only time I think faith's appropriate, if it's with your religion, I'm not going to operate on total faith and go against my common sense. So that's it. I want the same thing as that woman, I'm sure. The name calling on her part's dumb. I won't reciprocate, but that's it.
Yeah, you don't have to. I did.
Yeah. But if there's, I'll say this, and I can speak for you too, and Rational if he's on here too. We might not be the smartest people in the world. I might be the best looking. I can't speak for you two, but we are authentic. We are who we are on this. When we get off and we're not live and we're talking to each other, this is who we are. And I'm not going to pretend, for viewers, to make viewers happy, I'll pretend to believe something I don't. When I get on here, I'm giving you what's in my heart that day. That's it, So I apologize if some people don't like that. I had people saying, you're too angry. Like, no, that's who I am. So I think we could all use with a little more anger. Maybe some of this corruption would have been solved. So
did they say that you're too angry, or did you say hangry?
Like, dude, right now my wife is cutting a lasagna and I'm here with you all. So just you know. Yeah.
Well, right now my wife is eating some chicken Alfredo and I'm here. Yes. So there.
Well, you got any memes, or do you guys want to go on to a different topic here?
Yeah, no.
We're gonna be bringing on our Marine friend here pretty soon.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was doing that, and then
Well, I wanted to touch on something here real quick. Just see what you guys thought about it. So, I mean, you were talking about watching our channels, and we're authentic people. This is who we are. We're very open about who we are. The media, on the other hand, one thing I've noticed since Bernie started becoming the front runner for the Democrats is that you have all these people in the media who are supposedly like Republicans and conservatives, like Nicole Wallace, for example, who are saying outright that they'll vote for Bernie Sanders. They hate Trump so much that they'll vote for Bernie Sanders. It's like, I get that you don't like Trump, but just don't vote. Like, how can you vote for a socialist when you've been claiming all these years that you're a conservative? And that drives me nuts. And I've seen on more than one occasion now where the media has actually suggested, we got to stop calling them socialists because we're just playing into the alt-right's attacks on Democrats because they're not really socialist. And Don Lemon actually got on and said that that's just a conspiracy theory. They're actually centrists. They're moderates. And that's frightening to me because we literally have a guy who praised communist dictatorships, multiple communist dictators, and fawned over their systems, and he's about to be the president. That's kind of frightening.
Yeah. Hey, here's one for you. I'll be talking, so it brings me up onto the screen, but I don't. Am I on there now? I don't know.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, good. So, Hillary, your VP survival guide. Always sleep with one eye open. Never stand in front of the top of a flight of stairs. Never accept a drink of water, no matter how parched you are. Never. Quick, look there. There is nothing. Number 5, there is nothing she needs to show you in the basement. Number 6, yes, there's something behind you. Number 7, only wear clip-on ties from now on. Number 8, pepper spray is your new best friend. Number 9, nod and back it slowly out of the room.
Right. I'd be checking all the cameras anywhere around me all the time too to make sure they're functioning. Yeah, that guy's got a death wish or something.
Oh, I know. That's ridiculous, dude. He is like, he can't be trusted. Here's another kind of funny one. It's not terribly funny, but it's okay. It says, "What's mine?" Hey, Robert, can you read that one for us? Oh,
yeah. It says, "What's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine. Won't you be my Valentine?"
No. I want you to read that in Bernie's voice.
I've been screaming all day. Let me try. What's mine is mine, and what's yours is yours. Won't you be my Valentine? That's the best I can come up with on short notice.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. That worked out okay.
A little raspy.
We'll take that one.
Did Rational Wrong Thing show up?
It squares.
He did show up.
Okay.
Are you there, Rational?
Hey, I may have just a minute, so keep it going.
All right.
Rational, can you hear us?
They got him.
Yeah, mate.
Mate,
Oh,
you
there
hear
he
me?
is. There he is.
There he is. Speak again. Throw some shrimp on the barbie.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Great.
Did you say
sorry.
throw some
G'day,
shrimp on the
guys.
barbie?
G'day, guys. How's it going?
Great.
Greetings from Oz.
Sweet. We don't know where your picture is.
Oh, he's there.
There it is.
Hey, what?
There it is. Hey!
You can't see this sexy head?
Yeah, there it is.
Woo! Finally, we got some good-looking people in this
About
in this
time.
convo.
I literally had someone on the live stream today said that I, quote, had an offensive face. I was like, what? That's pretty good.
Oh, that's harsh.
I thought it was okay, you know. I was like,
Yeah, I'm for radio. There's not much chop on this though.
Okay, I have another
dear.
one here, guys. Let me do this one for us real quick. It's not really political, but it's kind of funny. What do single people call Valentine's Day? Independence Day.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on the GOP Marine veteran candidate David Winkler, the Fonz.
Sweet.
I'm gonna introduce him as that when I bring him on.
is he going to be video or
you guys,
audio?
he's gonna be video. I
Okay,
believe.
awesome. Thanks.
Great.
Now I just need to see how I add him to the call here.
And then while you're doing that, I'm going to throw up another meme. Okay, is that fine?
Okay, yeah, go for it.
Okay, here we go. I wish I could do Borat's. I can't say. Is it Borat's voice? Anyways,
Borat.
yeah, Borat. Congrats to the coronavirus for being the first thing made in China to last longer than a month. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, I'll find some just to have filler in here while we're in between. You know, I want to.
Okay, well, actually, I believe he's joined us.
I'll
Okay,
check a
good.
few up on the Discord, SJG. Have a look in there.
Okay, I will. I'm going to go to my guys here.
Let's see here.
This is funny.
He's like, oh shoot, I gotta get my camera off.
This is hilarious.
These guys are gonna ruin me.
He just saw us and was like, ow.
Yeah. So joining us now is Marine veteran and congressional primary candidate in District 8 for New Jersey, David Winkler. He is joining us. I do appreciate you joining us. It's definitely not as polished as some of the other YouTube channels I've seen you on. I do hope to get you on some of these guys that we've been working with, like American Joe and Douglas Dakota and Mike with the Patriot Hour. I think all of those guys are going to have you on, so hopefully that'll happen soon. Welcome.
Hey, thank you guys for having me. I'm still trying to figure out the video aspect here.
It's okay.
Yeah, he's on his phone, I believe, so I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, so I'm out in Canada right now on for vacation, but I'm headed back to New Jersey in about less than a week. So
all right.
Have you had any bacon? Have you had any bacon since you've been up there?
yeah, I've had bacon on burgers, but it's kind of like some ham. I don't really see it as bacon.
Right.
It's more ham up here.
They're pretty serious about their poutine, or how do you say it? Poutine? Or?
Yeah, poutine or whatever. That stuff's pretty good.
I thought you were saying something else for a minute there. Because we have a congressional person on here. We don't want to down him. So.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I hope we don't destroy your
Yeah,
chances.
you should probably leave your camera off. This might be better if we get through that.
Well, I do appreciate you coming on here with us. And, we do this every Saturday, just sort of kind of a more fun, laid back stream. So just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I said, I know you're a Marine, and I'd like to hear more about that. And what I know you're very passionate about anti-corruption. So what you plan on doing about that? And just give us your spiel.
So I think first of all, I'd like to say I think I got my camera up, so you guys can probably see me now.
Yeah, we see you.
I go back to the beginning of Iraq and Afghanistan. So I joined the Marines in 2005. I was infantry at the time. Went off to Fallujah, went off to Helmand Province in 2008. Interesting story, which I may capture later on, is I was actually in Afghanistan on an offensive whenever President Obama was first elected. So I had no idea who he was at first. But that's an interesting story for another time. But So I joined the Marines. Right after that, right after all my deployments with the Marines, I got out and I joined the Army. I spent about 10 years in the Army, and then I just recently switched over to the National Guard. So I left the active duty component, and now I'm a military police officer working the ports, and I did so on purpose. I wanted to get out there and see what was going on in New Jersey's ports and obviously New York's ports to try to help out when it came to the border aspect. As well as I dropped candidacy about 4 months ago in New Jersey for Congress. You are definitely right when it comes to trying to get rid of this corruption.
Yeah,
so there, I have a.
Yeah, wasn't it just last year that a bunch of Democrats got busted?
Oh, there's a lot going on here. Between Menendez or Senator Menendez, we got a lot of Governor Murphy issues. We have a lot of congressman issues. We have a lot of local politics issues. Like it just keeps, you name it. I've never seen this kind of corruption in my life. I moved over to the 8th District. The 8th District, just to let everybody know, covers, if you guys are familiar with the Lincoln Tunnel. So as soon as you guys come out from or go from Manhattan over to New Jersey, that's where I start to begin. So it covers West New York, Weehawken, Union City, Hoboken, part of Jersey City, part of Newark, part of Elizabeth, and a little bit more, right? Mm-hmm. But majority of my district is dealing with illegal immigration issues. So a lot of the things that I've heard you guys talk about, and you guys, articulate the issues very well. My issue is they're overran. The businesses here have become stagnant, and I got a huge mass exodus here. Last year of 68.5% of business owners have left New Jersey because of this. So this has to deal with, high taxing on our businesses, undercutting businesses with free labor. Just the rent is unaffordable. You name it. Like they're just doing everything they can to put immigrants before the American populace. I think you guys just saw President Trump's, attacking New Jersey sanctuary laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys all saw that. That goes in pretty deep. I actually wrote an article on that piece because the state attorney general, and I'll tell you how I came about this, put out a directive that ordered all local law enforcement all the way through state to stand down on anything immigration wise. They're not allowed to question. They're not allowed to do. They're not allowed to even ask immigration status of anybody whenever they pull somebody over or they are, looking to arrest somebody. They're not allowed to bring immigration into that conversation at all. So I was walking around West New York and I, saying, hey, I'm doing my canvassing and I won't put out the level of police officer, but a very high ranking police officer in West New York slipped me the directive and said, hey, we need your help. We can't do anything to help these people here. So that's how I came about the directive. And the police are annoyed here. They can't really help out ICE without fear. They'll lose their jobs. Like there's just so much going on here. So I mean, if you guys had specific questions, I could probably go into that a lot easier than just, going generic wise.
Oh yeah. I just love listening to all your, everything that you've done and everything that you're talking about here. I mean, those are very important issues. That's one of the main reasons I support Trump is he says he's America first, and it seems like that no matter what he is. And I just get off the path here a little bit than what you're probably used to talking about, but I know you are a big Trump supporter, and I that's one of the reasons I'm very interested in you. And I'm just wondering, have you taken any flack for that from the media or anybody, or has it been?
I've taken slack since 2016. Okay, so little background about me is I supported Trump since the candidacy, right? And the hard thing was I was an Army recruiter out in Brooklyn, New York. Funny story, I worked a floor above Hillary Clinton's campaign team when I was a recruiter. So I used to give her campaign people hell all the time, as I was going up to and I did it on purpose just because, I'm a huge, as I said, I'm not afraid to say that I'm a Trump supporter. But I've received all sorts of racist attacks from the minority left, even the white left community, where they would call me an Uncle Tom, or they would call me whatever. And it just, as I said, a lot of these attacks just emboldened the minority conservatives. I deal with a lot of minority conservatives. You guys are probably used to seeing some of them. Leo Dunson, who's running in Nevada. I'm used to Amazing Lucas, a few other predominant, Candace Owens.
Yeah.
So as I said, it only emboldens our movement because it just lets us know that we walked away for the right reasons. If you're going to show that kind of hate, I think I'm on the right side of things, you know?
Right. And you know, it really bugs me. So many people in the media, especially, always says that, oh, there's not any minorities. It's an all white male party and all this. And it's really, what do you expect? They get on TV every night and they just rail about how racist and horrible these people are. And they broadly generalize and they fearmonger. And so, yeah, you know, folks like you who you have to really fight, and yet you have to deal with a lot of crap that the people who are usually are lecturing about that just goes right out the window. Suddenly they have a special.
It definitely has. Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't want to butt in there, but it definitely has. And the tactics of the Democrats have to switch here in my district because they're not used to seeing minority opposition as a Republican. So they're really shocked and they're taken back because they don't know what to do. So their usual cards of identity politics isn't working. So they're like, okay, what do? We actually have to debate on merits of policy, and they're not doing too well on that. So they're embracing this far left agenda of socialism. Just to, you know, how much free stuff can I give out to stop this Republican from winning?
They're just like bribing for votes. Go ahead, guys.
I have a question here, and I'm so sorry. I've been focused on, what was your first name again?
David.
David. Okay.
Yeah, so I already know where you guys are going to go with this, and I heard John Tech say it earlier. Yeah, so my dad's name actually is Henry, by the way. So I catch a lot of slack all the time.
So what's your position? And I think I probably know, but what's your position on what's going on with the Second Amendment?
So I'm a huge protector of the Second Amendment, and I will tell you that, you know, some people will see it extreme. I'm not extreme on this. Like, nothing will infringe on the Second Amendment. Nothing at all. I believe in concealed carries. I even believe in open carries, right? So I believe, and a lot of people, you know, they say, hey, that's a little bit too much. But I believe in both aspects. And I always try to educate people. The Second Amendment is not debatable. What we've seen in Virginia is the reason why it exists. What we saw in Texas, I believe it was 2011, 2014. I forget which one it was with Bundy. But this is the reason why it exists, and it's a very real reason. I can't really tell you with today's military or today's law enforcement, due to how much you know, the brainwashing from the left, that they're going to turn on their people. So I want to make sure that the people have the right to bear arms and be able to protect themselves. Because I can't tell you whether people are going to follow an unlawful order to turn against their people. And so that's what I try to preach to people. It's not because of hunting. It's not because of, you know, they want to go out and target practice. It's literally to protect your families from a corrupt government, right? And I said that should never, ever be infringed upon.
Right. Yeah, it's very basic. We have, as human beings, a natural right to self-defense. It's that simple. And you know, the people who are typically going after that amendment are the same people railing about how much they love the Constitution, and it's the same people that say that Trump's an existential threat, yet they want to give up their guns so that only Trump has the guns for some reason. They make no logical sense. But,
and I use that same argument to my minority community, and it really works, and it really makes sense. If we feel that we're so oppressed, why are we giving up our guns?
Right. If you I went to Trump is Hitler, why would you say take my guns?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, if it was a true fear, you wouldn't want your guns taken.
Right.
So
and
that is a brilliant point. I have to say, sorry, I'll just jump in there, but as an Aussie, where we don't have your Second Amendment, that is a brilliant point that you made there, David, about you know, if you really did feel that you're oppressed, you would not be wanting to give up your guns. Like here in Australia, we have pretty much been disarmed, and I think it's one of the most frightening things that can happen to a country. We have no capacity to defend ourselves. If we get invaded, for example, by China or Indonesia, which is a possible threat for us, we're screwed. But if our own government turns on us, we're screwed. Right? We have got no ability to defend ourselves, and we don't have a right to free speech here either. So we've got the double whammy here. You know, look, mate, if I was in America, you'd have my vote. Anyone who supports the First if you support the right to free speech and you support the right to be able to defend yourself against threat, and the domestic threat is the big one for us in all Western nations at the moment, then you're on my side as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, mate, you would absolutely get my vote.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not even about that. It's about the side of America. Like, to me, 2020 is about either saving America or embracing a socialist agenda. And I will tell you, I just don't get why people vote against their own self-interest. And we'll see in 2020. But I will tell you right now, Trump will get reelected. So I have no fear about that.
I will say, I went what you were saying about minorities realizing that giving up their weapons is counterproductive to their rights. And, I attended an anti-gun rally here in Columbus, Ohio, and the woman that was speaking, one of their speakers, there was a very big anti-cop vibe going on. And she actually said during her speech, it smacked her in the head, the logic of it during her speech. She's like, oh, well, if we give up our guns, does that mean the cops are going to give up theirs too? And I had to shout out at her. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, you just had an epiphany.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it's an interesting topic, like, especially when you sit on that. Like, once again, being a minority, I'm a huge supporter of ICE and law enforcement. And once again, I get attacked because they're like, oh my God, how can you be a minority and be for ICE and everything else? And I'm like,
right.
It makes perfect sense. Like, I believe in we don't attack our law enforcement for carrying out the laws that Congress actually creates, right? Why are we attacking the law enforcement agencies for things that, if you had a problem with it, fix it up at Congress? Don't be taking it out on ICE or law enforcement or whoever else. And I think that's where we've gotten to over these last 3 years, sitting there and watching all the congressional hearings on this stuff. They're attacking them or attacking law enforcement over things that they should be fixing themselves, right?
Right.
So I mean, that's the easiest way for me to put it right now. And I need ICE in New Jersey, and I will say it here loud and clear. We need ICE in New Jersey. And once again, I praise the efforts of both the men and women of ICE.
Absolutely. And what is most disgusting to me, my focus is usually media, but look at the vitriol that the media and the Democrats have managed to whip up about ICE to the point where you've got these left-wing Antifa terrorists attacking ICE facilities. There's been 3 or 4 attacks now. And of course you don't hear about them because the media is inciting it. If they talk about it, that might become a topic that people are discussing. But I mean, how do you feel about that? How do the police feel about that? I mean, the media has essentially, and the Democrats have turned them into like they're Nazis or something. And at that point, people who actually believe that kind of rhetoric, they may actually feel like they have to take action, which I think is what you're seeing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I dealt with this quite a lot. So I was in Brooklyn for the beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement. And the whole social injustice aspect with Colin Kaepernick and everything else, which was just a giant catastrophe going on in that area, and the way that they were reacting towards NYPD at the time. Pretty much where I'm going with this is, I get tired of media pressure as well as political pressure into any sort of investigation whatsoever, right? And so I've made it a platform stance that I want to make sure that if media, obstructs ongoing investigations or politicians do so, that there is a way to hold them accountable. So I will be trying to create a legislative means of doing this, obviously working with, bipartisanly to attack this. It needs to stop. New York Times to, whatever else, doing these little last minute leaks is pissing me off. Yeah. And I think it's been pissing all you off from what I'm gathering is there needs to be a way to hold these people accountable. And I think that we can do so and bring back the actual rule of law and due process. I'm tired of the accused just getting, blindsided by a New York Times article or Washington Post or whatever it may be. Right. And now we're in a giant mess. This needs to stop, and it needs to be criminal charges for that.
Yeah, definitely. Robert, go ahead.
Yeah. So I ran for.
Your mic is out, Robert. I don't hear you.
You muted your mic.
One sec.
I told you.
Yeah.
Just unmute it. There you. No, now it's muted. Now unmute it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm muted now.
Go ahead.
Oh.
You
Somehow
can't hear
he's
me.
muted.
You can't hear me. I'll try to
Sign
Get
it.
that, and then fix it, and then come back.
All right, I
in.
think
But
you can hear me.
real quick.
Oh, there he
got
is.
me?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I ran for Congress as well here in Pennsylvania. I have a million questions I can ask you, but one of the things I wanted to ask you is, do you think that being a congressperson is more than just the policies you advocate? I think that because there's such division, the way we win going forward as Republicans is convincing the moderates, the independents, and the people that are leaning to the left of our issues. So what are your plans as a congressperson to be able to reach out to those voices, particularly new communities like young people, women, and minority communities?
So, I mean, you're actually nailing it right on the head. Like, that's how I actually go out and I talk to people. I'm not necessarily talking to the normal Republican aspect. I know that I'm going to be good with them. I'm actually talking to the independents and the Democrats and saying, hey, look, there isn't really, and I'm going to be quite honest, there's not really much of a difference here in ideologies when it comes to what, like, taking care of the people. Like, we care about the people as Republicans. We are a party of freedom, and we're a party of individual rights, and that's things that you need here. So when I talk about these small business owners, like, everybody agrees on my platform for small business. Lowering the taxes on them. School choice was another one for the parents. They love it. And so, like, I'm attacking these, not really attacking. I'm talking to the Democrats and the independents on purpose to say, hey, you know what? Maybe the way you guys looked at things are. We don't have to be so polarized. We don't have to be far left, or we don't have to be far right. We can come to some sort of middle ground. And I'm bringing back civility. What they're not used to seeing is a minority Republican going to the projects of, like, Jersey City, or going to places where the white Republican really just didn't go and capture those votes correctly. I'm going into those areas, and Democrats are flipping. I'm going to tell you right now, Democrats have been flipping over to our Republican side because I'm not afraid of it being moderate, right? So I'm not completely far right, right? So I'm moderate, and I come in with common sense. I'm like, hey, look, if this works, let's go with it, right? I don't need to be, like, so stuck in my ways that, like, people are like, okay, I can't vote for this person because, like, they're not, I don't agree with anything that they say. To me, I sit down with my Democrat colleagues out there over, some people that I work with on the Democrat side as well as the Republican side. And I literally sit down. I'm like, okay, we need to put our people first. If we're about that, then I'll work with you, right? But if you're literally just going to be partisan, I can't work with those people. But I will tell you that we're coming to some sort of middle ground here in New Jersey, and it's really working. And it's because of Republican leadership. Our Republican Party in New Jersey is the most diverse I've ever seen. We have, Black female leadership. We have Indians, we have the Jewish community, we have, every kind of Latino background, and it's really shaking things up to where Democrats don't know what to do with us. They don't know how to attack. So, as I said, I've been attacking the Democrat and the independents through civility, and that's the way I preach it, through civility and like-mindedness of, we're here for the people. Let's go ahead and get rid of this identity politics. Let's go get rid of this partisanship. Let's come back to some sort of neutral ground here, and stop embracing either the far right or the far left ideas, and say, hey, look, all the answers are right here in the middle. So let's go ahead and sit down. As I said, I'm not afraid to sit down in a pure Democrat crowd and have them grill me 24/7. I'll be like, okay, some of the stuff you may say makes sense. Some of it doesn't. But let's come to some sort of middle ground here.
I think that's an awesome answer. And I just want to say real quick, you need to convince the Republican Party of that as well. That's something that I'm trying to convince the Republican Party, that we need to reach these new people are thirsty to get rid of this corrupt Democratic Party. This is the key time to tell people we are the party of Martin Luther King, judging people by their content of their character. We don't judge you by race. And so I think that's a phenomenal answer. That's when I ran for Congress, I said the same thing. I'm going to be in inner city Philly. I'm going to be in inner city Pittsburgh. I'm talking to young people. You you have that same idea. We will be civil to them. And I'll tell you right now, if you go into inner city New Jersey, you're not going to win 90 to 95% of the vote there. You're not going to win 95% of the inner city black vote. But if you show that you're authentic and you keep going there year after year, even if you're not getting the majority of the vote, that shows those people. Republicans didn't go to those places, and now they ignore us. So kudos to you. I think that's an excellent answer.
I have a question here. I want to jump in. So now, pardon me for my ignorance on here, but isn't AOC from New Jersey? Is that right, or am I wrong?
No, she's from New York.
Oh, New York. Okay. I was like, dang it, man, that'd be great if you could.
But you're correct. You're correct in the sense of ideology that we're fighting between New Jersey and New York. One of the Democrat candidates that's going up against the incumbent, he's an AOC and the squad kind of fan. And so that's the kind of like damage that I have to like sit there and fight, is that kind of stranglehold on my people of believing in free stuff and everything is victimization. Everything is like, you can't succeed unless you have a Democrat in charge of you kind of mentality. And I'm like, I have to undo and unravel that kind of hurt on our people. And once again, going to what you were talking about, going back to that era of Republicans, of almost like Lincoln leadership to that Martin Luther King kind of leadership, to those, to say, hey, look, you don't need a Democrat to get you out of this. Like, what you need is empowerment. What you need is somebody saying, hey, you can succeed. You don't need all sorts of different welfare systems to this or that or whatever. Like, you just need to believe in yourself, right? And you need somebody there to empower you through mentorship.
And
I've been doing that.
Can I share? I think it would be appropriate. Can we share one meme real quick here with David and everybody? We do a little thing called.
Oh, I'm bad because I shared that one. I shared it on Twitter and I got attacked.
I just thought this would be a good one to share really quickly with everyone. Hooray! Yeah. He quit it.
I like everything that you're saying tonight, and I think everybody watching really likes it, and I agree. I don't hate anybody. None of these guys hate anybody. We're not all horrible monsters, and I think that with people like you out there, that maybe we can bring this back together, this country that's fracturing more and more every day. And I think that you're going to start seeing more and more minorities breaking from the Democrat Party, especially with like incidents like what we saw at, what was that? Was that Virginia University with the woman telling all the white people to get out of the multicultural center? Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that they're breeding on that side right now. And it's just getting worse and worse. And I think,
I didn't want to cut you off, but that's what's been going on for the 3 years. And that's the reason why the walkaway movement is so huge. It's not a small movement. The one that's on Facebook that I belong to is over 400,000 and growing. And majority of the people that are leaving are minorities. They're like, it's pure hate that we're receiving. But what I would say is, I believe in almost what Candace Owens and a few other of my fellow minority conservatives have been saying. We are the front lines of changing that right now. Like, we will take the slack. We will get the heat for being that minority conservative. But we're laying that groundwork to recreate the Republican image of what we actually truly stand for, and so that the Democrats can't sit there and attack our image anymore. Like, we are leading the front. We're leading the way here, and I have no problem. As I said, I was a Marine. People yell at me all the time. Army. Like, I'm used to it. People can yell and say whatever they want. Like, words don't mean a whole lot. Action does. So I'm out here trying to get it done, and I thank you guys once again for having me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're stronger on this side, because we have to constantly defend our positions while the other side gets coddled, by the media and everything. So they're atrophied while we're constantly, building up. But I think you're going to win it, and I think you're going to have support, a wide support, and I can't wait to hear more about you. And I'd like to bring you on again at some point and hear more about your military service. Real quick, you were in Fallujah. Were you there in 2004?
No, so I was there in 2006 timeframe.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then I did the surge in 2008 in Helmand Province, Afghanistan.
Wow, I bet you got some pretty crazy stories, and I'd love to hear them. Yeah. So we'll have to bring you back for that sometime.
Yep, thank you.
Yep, and, thank you very much for coming, and I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Sorry, Rational, you didn't get to say much, but
can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
So if David, are you fine with me getting your contact information from Drone offline and reaching out to you and having you come on my stream too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine for anybody to like, as I said, like, I believe that you guys have always sent the right message. I've paid attention to each one of you guys, and I really appreciate everything that you guys do for the conservative community. You guys are literally doing wonders, and I've used a lot of your guys' arguments because they're great to sit there and talk to my people in my district, and it's working. Your messages are getting out to the right places. I'll just put it out that way.
Thanks.
Nice. And it's thanks to people like you to actually come on here with us. Yeah. This small little very amateur live stream. So we appreciate that.
But there's one more thing before you go. So what if you do get elected and you're Mr. Big Congressman? Are you going to forget the little man that you talked to before?
I'm going to tell you, I never forget where I came from. I never did while I was in the military for 14 years. Like, regardless of what rank I acquired, like, I was always that one that you could go and reach out to. I believe in what's called engaged leadership. I'm going to be in my district more than I'm going to be in Washington, and I can really care less what Washington thinks. I got to take care of my district first. So, I mean, you guys are always more than welcome to reach out to me anytime. Like, I literally respond because I don't know if you guys knew this, but I was a CEO right before doing this of a veterans organization. I literally had the phone number to my organization given out to everybody. So I would call or I would answer on behalf of my organization. I didn't have any of my district reps or anybody else answer. I would do it within less than 24 hours. I'm that kind of person. I'm not going to forget about people.
I think you're going far, honestly. Hopefully we're voting for you for president here in the next 8 years or so.
No.
Well, you don't know yet.
I'm good.
Yeah.
If you don't get in over there, mate, come here. Come to Australia because you'll definitely get my vote.
So, but I think
thanks again, everybody. We're going to go ahead and end it here, but I appreciate everybody coming, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Catch you guys.
Are you ending the stream, or are you just?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody, they can't hear you right now. So thanks everybody for coming. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a cool. I like your outro. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I gotta refine it there.
No,